guys! Welcome back. Today we're here to do another writing talk video. This time I thought it'd just be fun to just sit down and take you on a step-by-step journey through how my brain works. It's going to be an interesting ride. Basically, I'm just going to talk to you about how I go about my writing process, because everybody's process is a little bit different, and some of you might be entertained by hearing about mine. Now, of course, mine might be fairly similar to a lot of other writing processes that are out there, but this is the one that works for me. If you're going to come on here and tell me I'm doing it wrong, or I need to do it some other way, or I'm not really writing, no. This is the method that works for me. If it's not a method that works for you, that is 100% fine. So, let's talk about how weird I am. Oh, I forgot my shirt. My shirt today is called Infinite Loop, and it is awesome. And if you understand the shirt, comment below and let me know for extra points. What the points are good for, nobody knows. Jane is here. Jane is here. My cats have been super into filming today, so he's gonna lay down below where the camera can see. Just know that he is here, sticking his claws into my leg. So, I often call myself a pantser. That is someone who writes by the seat of their pants. However, I think quite a few pantsers out there probably would fall more onto the label, if we must fall onto a label, of plantsers, which I recently learned about, which is people who plan and pants. Apparently a pantser is someone who just starts a book with absolutely 100% no idea what they're doing and just somehow finishes it, probably through magic. And that's not quite how I do it. I have not mastered magic. However, I am periodically possessed by a writing demon. That is neither here nor there. I am not a plotter. I do not enjoy at all the process of plotting out a story, of figuring out. I don't have like a bulletin board with color swatches. I don't do a Pinterest. I draw my characters when the mood strikes me, but I don't draw them beforehand, and I don't plan out anything about them, and I don't plan out scenes. However, I will admit that once I do have a story going, I often keep a notebook to write down important things like characters' names, names of locations, where the locations are in relation to each other. I needed a little bit of a timeline for Boots because they're 3 different characters and we're looking through 3 different points of view, so sometimes we jump back in time with another character. Character relationships to each other, what everybody's horse looks like and what their horse's names are. Basic stuff like that, that once I write it, I need to keep track of it. So I do have a notebook for that. And I don't write anything down before I begin writing a book. However, I do some of that stuff in my brain. My brain is a crowded place, but I like it that way. Let me take you on the tour of a writer's brain. Well, if you're inside this writer's brain, I am constantly, no matter what I'm doing, thinking about stories and characters, coming up with new ones, or mulling over current ones in my head. Let's say I'm at work and where I left off my story, I'm not sure what scene's coming next. While I'm at work, I'm busily planning out what my next scene is going to be so that the next time I have a chance to sit down and write, I basically know. But I don't ever write it down or do all that planning on a piece of paper or in a computer or anything like that. When I start out writing my story, I have rules for myself, that being, I have to know the ending, those being I have to know the beginning and I have to know the ending. Those are the big main ones. If I don't know what the end of my story is going to be, I don't allow myself to write it, because that usually means the story's not going to get finished. I also usually know several key scenes that need to happen through the story, usually involving the character's personal growth. However, I don't always. And then, once I kind of have this idea of how it begins and ends, I begin. I begin at the beginning and I go in linear fashion towards the end. I let my characters be my guide through their story and tell me what they want to tell me. A lot of times I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to behave, or even who they're going to be. I'm writing a story right now, a small side story, which is technically a fan fiction, but all the characters are original, where I recently added a new character to the group, and I thought she was going to be one way, and she is turning out to be completely not that way. And at first it was distressing because that's not how I thought she was going to be, but then I was like, well, this is her personality, this is the personality that she's showing me, so this is who she is. I learned to trust characters, especially because I used to be on stage and I used to do organic theater, which allows for a great deal of experimentation with character and has very little interference with your character by the director. So you are left to really get to know your character and really create your character. You learn to trust that character to be who they are going to be, and that same thing applies to my writing. I even trust them to know when they're supposed to die. My biggest example of character trust that I've been using lately is I had no idea in my current work in progress Boots how my main characters were going to defeat the villain. No idea. But I didn't worry about it. I just said when we get to that point, the characters will figure it out. And so I just went there, got to the final battle, and sure enough, the characters figured it out. I'm sorry about this weird-ass lighting that we have going on. I can't really do anything about these windows because I don't have any curtains, and the sun is setting and it is winter, so snow on everything. So yeah, you're just gonna get this weird light situation going on. Some people say that if you're in a rut, you should write a scene that you're excited about to get yourself out of it. And while that might work for some people, what I usually do is if I know there's a scene coming up that I'm excited about, I use it as a carrot to incentivize myself to get through those other scenes that I'm less excited about. Because I know there's a scene coming up that I just cannot wait to write, and I just have to get there. Jane just drooled on my notebook because when he's comfortable, he drools. He's a very strange cat. So that's basically how I do it. It's pretty straightforward. It's kind of pantsery and a little bit plotter-y, kind of, I guess. And I really can't imagine doing it any other way. This is the way that I've pretty much always written, and it's probably the way that I'm going to stick with. I suppose before I go, I could talk to you guys really briefly about how I pick what the next story I'm going to write is going to be, and my way is really, really random. Many of us writers have a bazillion stories in our heads, some we're more excited about than others. A lot of times I write these stories down or a quick synopsis of them down in a Word document just so I don't forget them. However, many of those stories have been languishing in that Word document for a really long time because the way my brain works is I just tend to be going along, minding my own business, and suddenly I will be struck with a lightning bolt of inspiration. I kid you not, actual lightning. No, I am kidding, it's not real lightning. But it's essentially, I'm just struck with such a strong and powerful inspiration that I know that this book is going to be my next thing. And then I'm very strict with myself. Once I have picked out my next thing and I have figured out the beginning and the end and maybe some things in the middle and some key character growth that I want to happen, maybe met a few of the characters in my head. Once I have that, I'm very strict with myself and I have to do that book, beginning to end. I cannot deviate, I cannot wander off to some new idea. I have to do that one. And yeah, that works for me. Some people can bounce around from book to book, from idea to idea, and still get stuff done. This I have learned through experience. I must be very firm with myself. So there you go, that was my rambly, kind of all over the place look into my head. Remember, I post new videos Monday or Friday/Saturday, whenever my internet decides to cooperate. And if YouTube is not showing you those videos, feel free to find them on any of my social media. Everything you need is linked in the doobly-doo. Jane is getting sick of this. He is gone. He wants to just lay back down. He's like, I was having a nap. You bitch. Anyway, I will see you all next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!